Good evening, everybody. Happy Friday. 2 weeks until my birthday, and I get to take a trip, and I'm excited. But, as always on Friday, there's always something to bring the day down. Now, I've only seen one story on this. It was Daily Caller, which means I actually do put a bit of faith in it, a bit of trust, because I have yet to find a reason to distrust them. Apparently, there was a large amount of baby and infant and toddler formula sent to the southern border to be given to illegals. I have seen the video where a Democrat representative actually said the shortage of baby formula means that reproductive rights are more important now than ever. Almost literally saying, well, you can't fund formula, so just kill the child. Now, I was born in 77. If you follow me on TikTok, you'll know that I often will tag the Council of Men HQ account. And most of those are in jest, but I refer to myself as an elder. I am getting older. Even at that, born in 77, my sister born in 74, we were on formula until we were 4 months old, and then just on low-fat content milk, and so on and so forth. We didn't have the plethora of formulas and baby food that we do today. But think about this. My parents were born in 1950. I doubt formula was a thing back then. If it was, I can pretty much guarantee you neither set of grandparents would have been spending a lot of money on powdered stuff to mix up when there was plenty of other options. My mother's parents lived through the Great Depression as children, and my grandfather was not a 18, 19, 20-year-old when he went into the war. He was, I believe, 24. Would have been around there in 43, 44. 42-ish. But having grown up in that, I can guarantee you both of them knew there's more than one way to skin a cat. One thing I confirmed with my mother today, goat's milk is the easiest on the stomach. Now, granted, I have no foodborne allergies. I was raised in the 70s and 80s, for crying out loud. I drank out of the water hose, outside, no filter on it. There's a reason I probably don't get sick as much as the younger crew, because I didn't grow up on filtered, bottled water. I mean, I filter my water now because I don't know what the crap's in it. But I didn't grow up on that. So, I know my mother didn't. And I know my grandmother didn't. There are options. Talk to your pediatrician. Talk to nurses that you know. Talk to pharmacists you know, that you trust. First thing I will tell you is, my experience in the medical field was as a firefighter. Treat for shock and start talking into that radio as fast as you can to let that ambulance know what they are about to show up on. I know how to do CPR, and I am certified on an AED. That's the extent of my medical knowledge. I know how to avoid making someone go into anaphylaxis because I ask them what their food allergies are, and I don't cook with those. But when it comes to infants and toddlers, I'm going to ask my mom what to do, or I'm going to ask a doctor, a nurse, or a pharmacist who has a lot more experience in the medical industry field than I do. But there are options. And abortion, to me, should never be one. And I know the argument running around, well, what about rape or incest? Or what if the mother's life she'll die if she carries the baby? Those instances together make up less than 0.75% of all abortions performed. Medical doctors won't perform them, by and large. And any that do are betraying their oath. Yet, our own government is engineering a shortage of food items that we need. Another one from TikTok. I had a mutual friend on TikTok post video from a Walmart where they were gathering up all of the milk, cream, butter, and cheese, throwing it out. Said they lost power and it warmed up too much. Wasn't safe. They weren't throwing away the frozen pizzas or taquitos or things like that. Weren't getting rid of the junk food. They were getting rid of the dairy staples that people need. Meanwhile, farmers are being paid not to produce. Many being threatened if they produce, they'll be taxed into poverty, and then they'll have to sell their farm. Food processing plants are burning down. 1, 2 in a year, could be convinced accidental. There's now over 19 or more already in this year, and we're only 5 months and 2 weeks in. 19 or more in 5.5 months. Those aren't accidents, people. The food shortage is being engineered by the swamps of the world, and it's being exacerbated here by our own executive branch. We've been hearing about the shortage of formula for a good little while, and now to hear this story on a Friday about the Biden administration sending formula to the border to be given to illegal aliens. It's just wrong. I will never advocate for inhumane treatment. But if you are coming into this country illegally, you need to be turned around and told, go home. If you force your way in, you need to be arrested and jailed until you can be deported. And if you keep coming back and keep coming back, you need to be deported every time. But no, the Biden administration wants to open the border wide, pay illegals, and ensure they get preferential treatment on so many things. It is wrong. Horribly wrong. The only thing that's not horribly wrong about it is how many people that are being red-pilled by Joe Biden's actions. Well, the actions he's told to take by his handlers. Because Joe doesn't know who he is, where he is, or what he's supposed to do from moment to moment. He tried to shake hands with just nothing. Obama snubbed him at an event. Joe is a puppet. He's being used by the Democratic Party and whoever their silent puppeteers are to destroy this country. And as far as midterms go, look up the supposed pandemic treaty the WHO is working overtime to enact before the midterms. They're going to do it. They're going to just declare, your country is no longer sovereign. We are in charge. You will obey. And all I can say is, our military won't stand for that, the vast majority. There's going to be a few thugs that they'll take the shilling to do some killing. But they are in such an extreme minority, those who will do that and are able to, because the vast majority of veterans out there, or those who will become veterans because they will walk off post, they'll walk off and stand with the American people. They'll stand by their oath. Veterans will do the same. Firefighters, police, EMS. We're not going to let some foreign, unelected body just declare we are no longer a sovereign country. And I realize there's a very good chance that I may be shot dead in my home for refusing to comply. But as I've said many times, and I will never stop, I would rather die on my feet a free man than live on my knees a peasant slave to a tyrant. Patrick Henry said it best, give me liberty or give me death. And the Klingons just made it more poetic. So the day they come to my door and say submit or else, I'm simply going to say, it appears today is a good day to die. And I'll go out on a mountain of brass. And part of me says that's what the tyrants want. Because, of course, they'll spin it in the world media, which will all be controlled by the swamp. They'll get rid of Fox and Fox Nation and every other actual independent journalist on the planet. They won't let them post anywhere. It will be a single news network running for the entire planet, run by the swamps. So all you will hear are stories about separatists and domestic terrorists and dissidents and insurrectionists trying to destabilize the security they know the world needs. And the sheep of the world will believe it, at least until they cannot ignore that everything I and many others have been saying is true. And anyone still here will hear them screaming and wailing in the night that no one warned them, and they were so selfish that they refused to just wait until the world needed them so they could save the world from these tyrants. And it will be many generations before anyone else is able to stand against them. But liberty will never die as long as it is an idea in the heart. As long as anyone believes in it, it is possible. It's just a matter of time. Anyway, I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, a wonderful evening. I don't know what the time frame is on the podcast, but I am working on that. I need to figure out a few things on the tech side, but it is still coming. Beyond that, thank you as always for all of the comments. As always, remember, keep it civil. We're adults here. We can disagree civilly. And I do appreciate all the subscriptions. And make sure you turn on the notifications, because I don't post on a schedule. You will want to know when I do. You guys have a great weekend. God bless.